Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
Hey, Ola, it's Miles. Thank you guys for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast.
Have you heard our newest podcast? It's called The Greatest Story Never Told.
Download it today on radio.com. Be sure to subscribe. New episodes are uploaded every Tuesday at noon.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to Season 16, episode number 3511. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. And you are in the Men's Room. On tap today, it's a 25 from 50 inspired Bad Choice Friday. The return of Ted versus the FCC. Plus headlines, the Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite, TV Time with Ted. Click. Clack. All right, here we go. Florida man arrested after swinging an alligator by the tail to, quote, teach it a lesson. Iowa man is busted on a stolen motorcycle while on drugs and Googles police his confession. Only in Yakima, Washington, would an ex-convict try to break back into the county jail. That's how bad it is. Delray Beach's new police cruiser has ice cream treats for sale. And a man sets his car on fire on a California freeway to scare the bears away, which is good thinking. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, there are moments in life that straight up scare the crap out of you, or they just freak you out. A woman in Georgia, for example, she had a meltdown on Sunday when she discovered not 1, not 2, but 18 snakes under her bed. Now, sure, the snakes were non-venomous, but there was 18 of them under her bed. Freaked her out. We go to Vermont for a different kind of freak out. Now, this story involves a hot air balloon. And let's face it, no one wants to be airborne on any kind of aircraft, only to then watch the pilot of said aircraft die mid-flight. Well, that was the case for 3 of the 4 passengers on this particular balloon. You see, the 4th passenger, well, they'd already fallen out of the basket when it ricocheted off the ground. And then that's when the pilot got tangled up in the gear and trapped under the basket as the balloon started climbing back into the air. And then the pilot plummeted to the ground and died. Meanwhile, the 3 remaining passengers, they were still on an out-of-control hot air balloon. We'll tell you how it ended coming up, but I think we understand why everyone was so freaked out. But we have more stories, like the guy in Brazil who watched his friend get ripped apart by a shark while he wandered into the ocean to pee. Or the guy who had an ant head lodged in his eyeball for a full day. We'll get to those stories, but first we want to hear yours with the answer to this question. What freaked you the hell out?
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's, all things summer, all at the right price.
I'm Glennon Doyle, author of Untamed and host of the podcast We Can Do Hard Things. Each week, we talk openly and honestly about the hard things in life together with you. So join us and some of our dearest friends and greatest heroes to talk about anxiety, boundaries, parenting, infidelity, our bodies, loving and losing, all of the things that make us human. Listen to and follow We Can Do Hard Things on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcasts.
We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All the tells, and away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,511. What a large and in charge program we have for you today on this very positive Friday. That's right. Once again, the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC. What a late night we had last night.
Man, oh man, you have no idea.
We probably wrote about 30 different tongue twisters for Ted.
Oh, come on.
30?
Don't exaggerate. It was 27.
We got basically the rest of the year done as far as Ted versus the FCC.
Oh, well, we can take it easy. We need to make time for the happy hour. You know, we got more stuff to do. So we put in a lot of effort last night, and that's one less thing we had to worry about.
Lo and behold, we come in here today. There is a listener submitted Ted versus the FCC.
That just pissed me off.
You're not going to believe it. Yeah, it really did. Came in this morning. Got an FCC from JC.
JC?
Yeah. It's all about Fuddpuckers.
Oh, yeah.
He'd never been to Fuddpuckers before, so he was down in Florida, and he decided to write a little Ted versus the FCC about that wonderful establishment. So the exciting return of Ted versus the FCC coming up. We will drink a toast with the weekend and the shot of the day, and then it's Bad Choice Friday time.
You know it's Bad Choice Friday. It's Bad Choice Friday. You know it's Bad Choice Friday. Hey, man, this is your fault. Jam on.
And as we celebrate 50 years of KISW, Ryan Castle does 25 from 50 every Saturday and Sunday at noon. This weekend, over 50 years of KISW, you will hear the 25 best cover songs that we have played throughout 50 years of this radio station. Those are not going to be your choices today as we feature Dynamite Hack.
Cause the boys in the hood are always hard. Come talking that trash and we'll pull your card. Knowing nothing in life but to be legit. Don't quote me, boy, I ain't said shit.
I'm not sure that I was too familiar with Dynamite Hack until yesterday.
Oh, really?
I must have missed this.
This song was massive for a while.
Yeah.
And they're very convincing. I wouldn't mess with these guys.
Neither would I.
No, man, they're pretty thug.
This is like a rough campfire song.
They got tattoos before they made this song.
Oh, man.
Dynamite Hack is taking on a brand new one from the band you know as the Foo Fighters. Fighters are covering the Bee Gees. The band is the DGs, if I'm not mistaken. Is that it? Put out about 4 or 5 songs. So why not, man? The Foo Fighters, You Should Be Dancing, the old Bee Gees tune, taking on Dynamite Hack and Boys in the Hood. Now, here's how you vote. Follow us on Twitter at 999KISW. The poll is up. One of those 2 tunes coming up right after we drink a toast with a shot of the day. Oh, and on our Men's Room Happy Hour today, We're going to bring back the return of a positive drinking story.
That is correct.
We have some of the least classy beverages on the market. We're going to sample some of those, by the way. And then, of course, Ted versus the FCC Redemption. Coming up.
Oh, nice.
On the Men's Room Happy Hour exclusively on Odyssey. Search for the Men's Room on the Odyssey app. Find it on KISW.com if you don't have the app. You can download it now for free in the App Store and Google Play. Then favorite the Happy Hour in your app as we go completely off the air here at KISW.
Correct.
Men's Room Happy Hour Monday through Friday at 6. Little Ted versus the FCC Redemption. Not that you need it, but you do need to redeem yourself from last week. As do I.
Yeah.
Because we both slipped up. But Steve's going to give it a shot. Mike, you're going to give it a shot.
Nice.
We'll see how the Men's Room Ted versus the FCC
And Mike, people are
Redemption
still
comes
offering
in.
$100 for you to drop an F-bomb during the app, which we know you will not just voluntarily do, but perhaps the FCC Redemption will allow that opportunity.
Maybe that's the
That might be.
Yeah.
He's not going to do it unless he just F's up and does it. But I'm thinking the FCC Redemption might be the one time you can hear our very own Mike Hawk, tripper of blind people and champion of dead gorillas, actually drop an F-bomb.
And also thanks to everybody who's checked out the Men's Room Happy Hour.
Yeah, man.
We appreciate it. We got a lot of good feedback on that. So thank you very much. Keep in mind we can say whatever the hell we want because we're not on the air anymore.
Right.
Not technically on the air.
We're not on the air because it's not the
we're
air.
on the Odyssey app, you see.
Right.
Thus the Appy Hour, not the Happy Hour. We're doing the Appy Hour. And today we got beverages.
Yes.
Went down to Bartell. I bought some of the finest liquor that money could buy.
No,
I
you
saw
did
that.
not.
Yeah.
It was
Well,
not
I mean,
we have the least classy beverages coming up. So we went to the least classy beverage well to sample some of the least finest bourbons out there.
I think you nailed it.
Yes, I think I did too.
I think those are whiskeys.
Are they whiskeys?
They
You don't-
gotta be.
You don't think they were made in, you think there was one was made in Tennessee, one was made in Kentucky?
Well,
I think this was
bourbon
made in
has
somebody's
stricter
garage.
rules. Right. These are. I'm going to guess some of these are a blended whiskey.
A blended whiskey. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. That's great.
Because whiskeys can show up a lot of places. Like, I don't think they followed the whole bourbon thing.
Who doesn't like a good blended whiskey? You know what I'm saying? That's
I think us later.
tasty and delicious. And our question today, what freaked you the hell out? We'll start with this story. And Ted, this is not up your alley.
Nope.
A woman was scared shirtless after finding 18 snakes under her bed in Georgia. Trish Wilcher, she was headed to sleep on Sunday in her Augusta home when she noticed something odd. I spotted what I thought was a piece of fuzz on the floor. Went to reach for it, and it moved. She said that a second later, another piece moved. And she went to her husband to let him know they had snakes. The family learned they had 17 babies that had recently hatched and a mother snake as guests in their home.
They're not guests.
Yeah. Her husband, Max, used a grabber tool to place each snake in a linen bag before taking them to a nearby creek and releasing them.
What is a grabber tool?
I don't know who has one of those handies. Is that like
Yeah,
one of those things you pick
I
up
do.
trash?
Yeah.
You have a grabber tool?
I do.
What do you use it for?
It's about as long as your arm, and it kind of has a big old trigger handle at one side.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's got just the little prongs on the other side.
Nice.
You just reach down and grab stuff.
When have you used that?
Whenever generally it's for when clothes get dropped out behind the back of the washer. And
all right, that makes
Able
sense.
to reach down and grab it.
Okay.
I don't know that would be my response to 18 snakes in my house. I mean, they were very patient about it, and I appreciate that, but I would have probably burned my house down.
Yeah, and there might have been 19.
I mean, look, I'm not even scared of snakes. They don't bother me, but there's still something alarming about 18 of them unknowingly being under my bed. And it might get the house burned down. Yeah. But definitely, get the grabby tool. Like, for what?
Yeah. They do that in Georgia, though. Most of the snakes that you would see in your home and most of the snakes you would see in general are non-venomous.
Doesn't matter. Oh, you know what?
Still?
That's what it is. In Georgia, believe it or not. So part of the reason
They're garter snakes.
he grabbed his grabby tool to get him out of the house is because in Georgia, non-venomous snakes are protected.
Are garter
So you
snakes...
can't kill them?
So, I mean, you can, but there would be a fine. So imagine you, Ted, your response, you've probably bashed these things, right? All 18 of them. They would still have to report you. Like if animal control came and they said, man, you killed 15 of them. And we understand your reaction, but it is illegal in the state of Georgia. They are protected if they're non-venomous. So maybe that's why you got the grabber.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm taking that charge.
I know you
I'll
are.
look that judge in the eye and say, I'll do it again.
Is a garter snake, is garter pronounced and spelled the same way as a garter that a woman would wear?
You know what? I don't know. Because
Is
I've
that the
heard
only-
garden's a
is that-
snake.
is that
and
the
Yeah.
only-
Well, they
It's
got that
garter.
name because originally, when they were first discovered, they kept wrapping around people's legs.
It is.
You're right. Yeah, it's
'cause
spelled the same way.
There's no other way that the term is used other than a snake and something that's kind of like sexy lingerie or sexy...
GARTER.
Yeah, I mean, I think garters are sexy.
All right.
Not the snakes.
I'm not trying to turn you off these
You think
things,
a garter's sexy, or is it just where the garter is? I mean, it's just a piece of it. It's like a big scrunchy
If
for
you're
your
there,
thigh.
you did okay.
Yeah, if I'm getting there,
if you see
sure.
that, you know what I'm saying? It's not that you want to drink the hams that's on the handle at the bar, but if you're at the bar and you got there, it's okay. You know what I mean? You can find something else, but yeah. I mean,
It's a thigh scrunchie.
Right,
I also
exactly.
equate garters with strippers.
Well, yeah. But again, that
What if a
itself,
stripper came
they're
out
not
with two
success-
snakes wrapped around their thighs?
You still like garters?
I would walk away from the rail.
Okay, yes.
They're used for holding stockings up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. So
Okay.
back in the day when the
They
stockings
used to
went all the
be.
way up that high, because it was a scrunchie, basically, it just held that
It's a
stocking
thigh
in place.
scrunchie. Because when guys wear garters, it's to keep their socks up because they're 97 years old.
This is
Oh,
a
jeez, that's a look.
This is a freaky story, and once again, more proof why I will never in my life get into a hot air balloon. I mean, this is absolutely terrifying. The pilot of a hot air balloon died yesterday in an accident in Vermont that sent passengers in the balloon's basket across state lines. 4 passengers and the pilot, Brian Boland, were in the were in the balloon.
This is the ballroom. How big is this goddamn balloon?
They were in the balloon when it took off in Post Mills, Vermont, from the Post Mills Airport. The balloon hit the ground as it was descending during the trip. The basket tipped, and a passenger fell out. He was not injured.
Right.
He just fell out of the basket.
He
okay?
didn't realize it at the time. He's the lucky one.
Police then said the pilot became entangled in gear and ended up trapped underneath the basket. The balloon then started to climb back into the air.
Right.
Okay? So it's landing. It's descending at first. It must have hit with force enough to tip the basket over. At that point, one of the passengers spills out. Fortunately for him, not injured. The pilot is now somehow latched on, trapped under the underneath side of the basket as the balloon now begins to ascend back up into the air.
Keep in mind, there's now 3 passengers on a pilotless balloon with a pilot under them trapped in a basket.
Yeah. As the balloon was climbing back into the air, he fell to the ground in Bradford, Vermont, pronounced dead at the scene. So everybody in the basket saw the pilot
Drop from the
drop
bottom.
from the bottom of the basket, fall to the ground and die. The pilot's gone. You are now in this balloon.
Right.
Now there are 3 people in this balloon, okay?
And they're not pilots.
They are not pilots. The hot air balloon then continued for another 1.5 miles with 3 remaining passengers on board. Eventually, it got caught in the trees in Piermont, New Hampshire. That is a different state than Vermont. If you're not familiar with New England. The 3 passengers remaining in the balloon, they were able to climb down safely, according to Vermont State Police. But what a day. I mean, what
a day.
What a day. I mean,
Do you know what that story reminds me of? And to me, Miles, you told me the story. You were not involved, but you told me the story. And to me, it still has to be one of the most bone-chilling moments of any human being's life. So there are 2 guys. They are kayaking in an unmapped river in Africa, I believe.
I want to say there's a Seattle connection to the story as well.
There might be.
I believe either the tourist group that came out or whatever.
Oh,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah.
It was one of those kind of like National Geographic adventure vacation type.
Sure, and these guys are trained. They know what they're doing, but this particular river is unmapped. Therefore, they hired a guide because the guide, who is local to this part of Africa, he knows the river. So he's going to guide these guys down, and everything's going fine. And I want to say the guide is up front because he knows where the rapids are. He knows where
they're in
kayaks,
kayaks,
etc. Right? So they're in kayaks. It's probably fairly peaceful.
I want to say it's
gotta be
also an
beautiful.
unmapped river.
Yeah, that was
which
the
I
whole
don't know
thing.
how that's possible with technology, but that's just the way the river is labeled.
And as they're on their excursion here, and keep in mind there are 3 of them. One of them knows where they are, and that's the guide. So who did the crocodile jump out of the water and take directly out of his kayak and drag to his death and eat him? The guide who knows where they are.
He was there 1 second, gone the next. They saw the tail of the crocodile go back down into the water.
They said it happened
The
so
guy
fast.
was gone.
Like he was just gone. This thing came out of the water,
was
snatched him out of the kayak, gone.
Now you're floating down an uncharted river. Your guide is gone, and you realize that the river you are in is infested with crocodiles that can not only breach, but they can pick you out of that kayak,
right,
take you down under, spin you, and you're dead.
And that's it.
Right. Now,
somehow they survived. I don't remember what the rest of their tale was, because to me, the most interesting part is I'm just picturing like, Miles, you and I are kayaking. Man, what a great trip. I'm glad we did this, brother. Not a lot of people. Oh, my God.
And he's dead.
We're going to die.
Right.
I mean, it's not like you have cell phone service. You know what I mean? It's
Now,
to
look.
me, the hot air balloon ranks with that. Like, hey, where's our pilot?
Yeah.
Because we just watched him drop to the ground and die.
Yeah. And as you read the news, I mean, you realize it doesn't have to be a crocodile or something crazy. They're calling this Amazon delivery driver a hero. A hero. Why? Because he was delivering a package to a lady, and as she told him on her Ring cam, hey, could you please not leave the package on the front door because there is a pretty decent-sized spider. I believe this was in Texas.
Yes, it was Texas.
There was on the Ring cam, and she kept being. And so when she was looking at the Ring cam, it looked like this giant spider, kind of like when they have like a seagull in front of the traffic cam. You know what I mean? The more like, look at this fella here. You know, like, it was kind of like that. But she would not go out her front door. She was so freaked out. So she asked the Amazon delivery driver if he could kill the spider. I think he took a shoe off or rolled up a newspaper or something. Mission accomplished. She was very happy, but she would not go out her front door. She was so freaked out. Probably did. You know.
Spider style.
Yeah, but she was so freaked out.
He's all eight fingers.
Yeah. And look, man, we always hear of alligators that are caught on door cams, you know, trying to open up a door in Florida and stuff like that. But this woman wouldn't go outside because of the size of a spider.
Well, some people, too, have phobias like I do with snakes with spiders. Like, some people just freeze and they can't move.
I'm close to that. I move, but I move to kill them. As the general rule goes, if you are outside and I see you, I am not happy you're there, but I allow you to live. If you wander into my home and I see you, your death is imminent. And my daughter, God bless her, right? She's a real sweet kid, but like, Dad, there's a spider on the ceiling. This is what she tells me. I look up and basically I just see a goddamn monster on the ceiling. I try to be cool because my daughter's there. It was like 3 years ago. Well, Dad, are you going to save it? I'm like, what do you mean save it? She's like, can we put it in a glass and take it outside? I'm like, I'm going to teach you your first hard lesson in life. That spider was dead. Mike, listen. So I told her, I said, baby, if you were looking to save 8-legged wildlife that's in the house, you got to talk to your mom. Your mom will do it.
I'm really seriously curious. What the hell bit me in Eastern Washington? That mark is still there.
Yeah.
I cannot get rid of this thing.
I'm not too curious.
It's been 5 months. I mean, I'm just wondering, like, what the hell caused that much damage for that long? Because, you know, I mean, I realize...
Has it been 5 months?
It has been 5 months, yeah, at least. Probably 4.
But you're not Spider-Man yet, and you haven't gone to the doctor.
No.
This is the worst bite ever.
The swelling went down, you know what I mean?
Why didn't Spider-Man go to the doctor? Just a quick aside, okay? You get bitten by a radioactive spider, all right? But you realize within, 1 or 2 days, like, I can shoot webs out of my hands, or I stick to the walls, and I know it's kind of cool that you suddenly have all this strength and you can stick to buildings and you fire webs, but wouldn't you also think to yourself, this is a real bad side effect? I should see a medical practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just me, dude. Like, I get, like, if you're Batman, you did this yourself. Spider-Man, if I'm Peter Parker's friend and it's like, bro, you're not going to believe this. And he climbs up the wall and I'm like, holy ass, how did you do that? And he says, I was bitten by a radioactive spider. But we're going to the hospital. Period.
Didn't you have friends that were like close at Oscorp that were able to kind of, monitor him and see what all was going on? I honestly would try to keep it low and under wraps, but I feel like
But I'm going to the doctor. Hey, if I'm bleeding on the side of my penis, I keep it under wraps. But I go to the doctor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he's got special powers now.
But again, does that make it okay? Like, Dad, if you were bitten by a radioactive spider and said, dude, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, you started swinging around the ceiling. I'm like, dude, that's so badass. Seriously, see a doctor.
Oh, no.
Yeah. You would not go to the doctor?
No, I have powers now. I don't want to. The doctor might say, hey, this isn't healthy and take away my powers.
Well, he can't take them away.
You never know.
What if we brought a snake in here? Would that
give you superpowers.
Would that help you with your fear of snakes,
No.
I think? It would not.
No. Okay. Girls, I've been in a studio before with Thrill. It doesn't help.
Too.
And this guy brought in
yellow thing.
What was it, like a 14-foot albino something? And
that was Ron and Fez.
But no, this was before that.
This
is predates you, Miles.
Oh, okay.
And to Ted's credit, did you stay in the studio?
I stayed, yeah.
But as far away as he could. But Ted was like, seriously, do not have that mofo get near me. He's like, honest to God, I will freak out. So we didn't. But when the guy came in.
Because I was interning, so I had to go get him out of the kitchen or whatever. So literally, I peek around the corner they're ready for you.
Yeah. I used to be a little bit freaked out by bats when I was a kid because the bats were everywhere. But we used to go caving all the time. And we get in the middle of this cave. We're probably in about a quarter to a half a mile at this point.
Right.
And inside the cave, you basically follow the stream, if there's a stream, because it's been carved out. It's an easier way in. Yeah, your feet get wet, but who cares? It's just an easier way to get in the cave. So we get to this main room that's huge. And the ceilings are 30 feet high. And when you look up, the entire ceiling is covered with bats. And when the bats are in there, they're covered in dew. So when you shine the light up on them,
As in moisture.
yes, they look very silverish. You know what I mean? They're not the biggest bats in the world. So my buddy, there's this little pond and a waterfall in the middle of this room. Now my buddy sees one of the biggest crayfish all right, in this pool that we've ever seen. I mean, this thing is huge, and it's also translucent,
right?
Because there's no light in there. So he goes down to try to catch this damn thing, right? He has a metal canteen on. That metal canteen bangs into a rock, like ding, like a vibrating ding. All those bats took off. And where they were coming were all toward us because that was the exit. So the entire room fills with bats. I crouched down, covered my face up, and my head. It sounded like a vacuum started up.
Right.
It was like, boom. When these things all started flying at the same time, and none of them touched me. Not one of those bats touched me.
How gross are you to bats?
No, I'm just saying, like, you know, it was
doing the big nose.
After that, I swear to God, I was like, you know what? Bats are all right.
You know what?
They don't want to mess with me.
Same thing happened to Batman. Am I right? You're scared of bats? All the bats came out of the cage.
I just need to be a billionaire.
Yeah, you don't have that part.
Our question, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW. Yeah! You're in the men's room.
Our question on this Positive Friday, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Chris. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
All right, so this is going to be a less than Positive Friday story.
All right.
When I was a kid, we had a dog, and as she got older, she started to freak out about a lot of things when nobody was home. Well, actually, it was more when my mom wasn't home. And one day we got home, and she had gone under the computer desk and wrapped her leg around the cords multiple times. Got to the point where we couldn't keep her alone by herself at home, so we had to lock her in the bathroom.
All right.
And then we found out the reason why she was doing this, she was in a bunch of pain because she had cancer.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So, is that what freaked you out, or what?
It was when she wrapped her leg around the cords. Like, she's probably, like, losing blood and probably could have lost her leg, but we didn't know why she was doing it until months later.
How old were you when she was doing this?
Probably around 12.
Okay. Well, it's traumatic for any kid.
It will be, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, my kids, and look, I did not help. Our dog, we had to put her down. Not the one I have now, the dog before this one. And that was bad enough. And they took the news as well as little kids are going to take the news. We explain what happened. Yeah. But you fast forward a few months, now Christmas is coming up, and they're snooping around the house. Gotta feel bad. Look, at the time, I thought I did the right thing, and I maintain it, but apparently it did have an effect. So they're snooping around the house looking for Christmas gifts. Mm-hmm. Both of them wander into the living room, and they have just these devilish smiles on their face going, we found one of our Christmas gifts. And my wife and I look at each other, because I'm thinking, man, all the gifts that are hidden around the house are in places they can't even physically get to. Right. So I was like, well, where did you find this gift? They're like, there's a box in the back of your closet. I'm like, that's the gift? They go, yes. And guys, that's your dead dog. And there was deathly silence for about a good minute. And I said, that'll teach you to stop snooping around.
That's right.
So I didn't really give it another thought, but my wife has brought it up several times since then. Like,
have the kids brought it up, though? Or they know not to go in there?
Well, they know not to go in there because they think Dad just keeps dead things in the closet now. But, my son, he's a little more down to earth, I would say. But my daughter, I think it may have had an impact on her.
Yeah.
I just, I didn't really think it would. And I was annoyed that they were snooping around. But also, I'm not lying to you. Like, that is your dead dog. And I could see on her face is like, maybe I could have said that a better way.
No, that's the truth.
It was the truth. But, it's one thing to walk up and be like, you have an ugly baby, right? Maybe that's the truth. But you don't just say that. You say, like, oh, congratulations. And you say nothing else. The implication is I did not say your baby's cute. Thus, you understand that I think your baby's ugly. But you can't just say it.
Yeah, but also I don't care who it is. At any age, when somebody's kind of like overly confident for no reason.
Yeah. They did have a lot of confidence. I mean, I really,
right?
I stole a lot of thunder.
Actually, guys.
Right?
Not only is it not a gift, that dog you love, that was your dog. And she's dead, and she is a pile of dust in the box. I hate to break it to you, but stop snooping around.
I got 2 in a closet.
You have 2?
I decided with Gomez, no more ashes.
Yeah, I'm not doing it
anymore.
I'm not doing it again.
I'm not doing it anymore.
It's this. At the time they ask you, would you like your dog cremated and we can give you the ashes? Like the dog was still on my lap dead, right? The medication had kicked in, and the last thing my dog did was look at me. And I'm staring at her, right? So you are kind of emotionally raw, to put it mildly, but they come in and, but like you've asked, this body is still warm. So you're like, yeah, absolutely. And then it's like maybe 2 weeks later, we get a box delivered to our house. I'm like, what is this? We opened it up, and I'm like, what the F do we do with it now? Like, this was a bad decision. It's just a box of dogs.
If you took if your dog had a favorite park, or there was a beach you like to run on, or like a hiking trail, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like if you had, then you might say, like, you know what, I'm going to dump the ashes in this place. But I would never buy a specialty box for that.
I mean,
what are you going to do?
She did. I don't know if the folks in Greenwood would be happy to see me dumping dog ashes around their neighborhood, but that was her joint.
Yeah.
Well, you also could have just sent her to a farm,
What do you mean?
Well, we own a lot of land and stuff at Pets Elite.
I see what you're saying.
Do you take ashes as well? Because I just have.
We don't kill animals. It's
great for the soil.
We provide solutions
to your problem. And again, you get a discount for every question you don't ask.
Our question, what freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Ashes. I mean, I don't know. Only if somebody has a burn pit or something going. I don't know.
Jesus. Hello, Tyler. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
How are y'all doing?
Positive Friday. Doing great.
So, my story is, real quick, the only reason I think Peter Parker did not go to the doctor was because in that kind of situation, I would assume someone would have a vague understanding of the powers they had.
I disagree. I think it's straight up he didn't have insurance, and that has cost a lot of money.
You know what? That's fair, too. My story is less about me freaking out and more about my brother freaking out. When I was 11 years old, I went to go throw something away behind a chair literally right before a baseball game, and I ended up cutting my thumb open on something that was hanging off of the chair. I looked down, and I saw my tendon, and I'm like, that's my tendon. So my mom tried to butterfly bandage it closed, and my brother's literally running around the room freaking out as I'm sitting there like, no, I can still play.
How old was he? Older or younger brother?
He's 24 minutes older, so twins.
Okay.
I love the twins are so like, my brother is like 4 years and 7 months older than me. So we say 5 years. With twins, it's always like 24 minutes, 18 seconds.
I was first.
No. I used to mess with my brother simply by telling our friends or people who had not met him yet, no, he's 23 minutes younger than me, or older than me.
Do you guys look the same?
Every single time he would correct them. It was great.
Are you guys identical?
Yes.
Are you?
Is that good or bad?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just, I have no concept.
So when I was a kid, I thought it was bad simply because our friends would literally mix our names up, but then they combined our names into Kyler, and I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 27 now.
Okay, so let's just assume...
He's 27, 24 minutes.
Let's just assume that your brother's got a girlfriend. Whatever, it started at 18 years old. Maybe he's had 3 or 4 of them. Has any of them ever looked at you and thought, and you could see that they were attracted to you because you look
They
like your
gotta be
brother?
attracted
Yeah,
to
right.
him.
Exactly. You'd have to think, right?
We are attracted to different types of people.
No, I understand that, but has
then-
anyone ever thought that, has a girlfriend ever thought that you were your brother? Just like they're coming over for whatever, and they, I don't know, spilled the beans about something like, oh my God, when we did that thing last night. And you're like, hey, baby, that
You're
was
walking
not
up
me.
the,
I got to be honest, he's never introduced me to any of his partners, and the one that I learned about was over an online conversation.
He's never in. Why do you think that is?
Because that's very complicated. I've been accused of stealing his friends before.
Stealing his girlfriends or his friends?
No, his friends.
Okay.
And I'm worried that he thinks that whatever his partner is going to think is that they're going to be liking me more.
You guys might.
That's my assumption.
You guys might like totally different looking people or women or whatever the personality types. But whoever is with your brother physically thinks that he is attractive.
Right.
So,
you hope.
Yeah. So you, in theory, should also to them be physically attractive, correct?
Unfortunately, my personality is just slightly a little bit less abrasive.
Less abrasive than your brother.
Oh, then you're definitely going to steal his girlfriend.
Yeah, you're going to take his girlfriend for sure. Okay, all right.
Those 24 minutes make a big difference, brother.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
I always wonder, though, like, if you're an identical twin, it's one thing for us to get up in the morning, you look in the mirror, right? You're brushing your teeth, whatever you're doing. I truly don't see myself the rest of the day. And if I have a twin, I basically see myself. It's not me, but I see my image every day, all day, especially as kids. And because every once in a while you look in the mirror like, Jesus, you look like ass. But you ever look at your twin and go, I'm looking at you, and all I can think is, you're ugly, which means I'm ugly. Right?
I wonder if I wonder if there's any identical twins out there where one of the twins, let's say it's two boys, right? Mm-hmm. One of the boys
has a huge hog.
Has just the biggest penis you've ever seen in your life. And the other twin does not at all. You know what I mean? It's like,
it has to have happened.
You'd think that that's happened before. You know what I mean? For whatever reason.
It's gotta have happened.
Yeah.
Right, there's no doubt. I mean, it's probably not normal, but you know it's happened.
Yeah. I mean, and then what?
Right. That's the bitter one.
Right, exactly.
The twin that seems more bitter out of the two probably.
Like, how did you get that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
It just seems unfair.
How did you get that? And I'm just sitting here with, What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Jesse. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So this happened to me a couple years ago. I had a group of friends and we went out to Lower Lewis Falls. We like to do, they have, the big cliff that you can jump off of.
Okay.
I crossed a little too close to the main stream, got caught in the current of the river, and fell off the waterfall there.
Wow, how far of a fall?
It's about 50 feet.
Jeez. Now, was underneath there, was it a washing machine, or did it spit you out?
So I got caught in the river. I almost drowned. There was a section of it where I actually was bobbing up and down underwater. My friend could actually see me, but was too high up to intervene. And I was jumping off this boulder. I already had my final thoughts in my head, and I was like, all right, I'm either going to push off and see what happens, or I'm just going to accept it and be done here. So I pushed off, and that's when I heard the waterfall. And part of me was like, thank God I might make it. And the other part of me was like, I don't know if there's rocks at the bottom.
Right.
Yeah. Thankfully, there were no.
When you get discombobulated, man, in water, it's so weird. I've
done that where I swam super hard to get out of the surface and realized I just smashed into the bottom.
I've done it by rolling.
Right.
If a wave rolls,
that's
if
it.
you get rolled by a wave, you just do not know which way.
You just start swimming,
and you just bang your head into the sand.
That's exactly
what
I did.
God! And then you got to kind of right your feet and right your hands to figure out which direction to push up.
Absolutely.
It is a freaky thing when you've just completely lost your sense of direction.
It's freaky, but I will say the moment I smashed my face at the bottom of the ocean, it helped at least because I knew, okay, go the other way. This is the one moment that I realized, okay, go the opposite direction, but I was still a little panicked when I got out.
Oh, right, and that's the hardest part is to calm down for a second.
Yeah.
Because I've done it in the ocean, and it's just all right,
where am I?
Right.
Yeah.
That's right, because when the waves are going, you're still kind of going around. You don't know.
And they tumble you quickly.
Yeah.
It's like spinning around on a bat blindfolded and trying to run.
You know what? This is what freaked me out. My mother was telling me, I can't remember what like kind of documentary Jacques Cousteau style thing they were talking about, but they're talking about scuba divers, right? And why they come up slow, or if your oxygen tank gets too low. So they're talking about this one guy, and I'm sitting there with my mom. I'm like 9 years old maybe. And he is not on the show because he has since passed. But the reason he died was because like his oxygen level got low or whatever the case was. And when he tried to swim up, he did not realize it. He was just swimming down. And once I heard this, I'm like, I will never go scuba diving. This is a trained scuba diver. This wasn't like some novice dumbass like me. This is a guy, this is what he did. Whatever went wrong down there went wrong. And that wasn't the scary part. The scary part to me was the fact that he was aiming straight down. And looking at my mom, I'm like, why would he do that? And she said, well, he got discombobulated. And I'm like, but it was a daytime dive, so the...
Yeah.
You should be able to... But she said again...
After a certain point, it's gone.
That was the thing. So she explains this to me, and I'm like, dude, F that. There is no freaking way.
And if you go like on vacation or something, you can go scuba diving, even if you're not licensed or certified or you took a class. Yeah. They'll give you a little training lesson in a pool. The pool's 5 feet deep.
It's a pool.
You know what I mean? Like,
right.
If I'm going to do that, I might as well just snorkel. You know what
exactly.
I mean? 5 feet.
I'm going to go scuba diving for one reason.
What's that?
Fall off backwards. It looks so cool.
It does
with
look
the
cool.
tank and everything.
Why is that?
Maybe like 10 feet under, and then be like, all right, I'm good.
I'm out.
Why is that, by the way? Why do you go off backwards?
I'm guessing because of the tank.
Maybe.
If you went forward,
probably. Here comes Mike.
Knows.
Probably the flippers.
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot easier to get the flippers out of
because you're taking it instead of going forward with huge ass feet.
See, that's why I don't scuba dive.
Mm-hmm. There was a scuba school, ironically, right where I grew up.
What?
I know.
DC?
Yeah, in College Park. He was there for years, next to the fire department.
Was it part of the school?
No. It was a separate scuba school that had been there for years. But as a kid, it was very frustrating because you could see they had an indoor pool in there.
Right.
So it was always like, why can't we go swimming there? And it's like, because it's not for swimming.
It's just weird. Look, we live in the Pacific Northwest. There's a couple of scuba schools. It makes sense because people here scuba dive.
Correct.
Living in between Baltimore and D.C., whatever, like that, I don't know that I knew anyone that had ever scuba dived.
Well, the water here, too. I mean, people who scuba dive, they want to come here and scuba dive because it's such a unique
You don't even have to go far. Just go into Elliott Bay.
A lot of people go in West Seattle, just walk out. Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, Elliott Bay is one of the best places. But see, I had a neighbor. He would do that every Sunday. I'd see him.
Scuba diving?
Yeah, because I'd see him like Sunday, like evenings or whatever, and he'd always, like, we were out front smoking stuff, but his hair would always be wet. And I'm like, did you just shower? And he's like, yeah, man. That's what we do on Sundays. We go scuba diving out in Elliott Bay.
Damn.
I like this guy, by the way, says scuba divers roll out backwards because if they roll forward, they'd still just be in the boat. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Dad.
Someone else says, as a certified diver, we are taught to exhale and look for bubbles to follow them up.
That's
all right.
Bubbles the chimp, he means, from Michael Jackson film.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Can you imagine if you were underwater and a chimp just swam by?
No.
Like, what in the hell?
No, I could not imagine that.
Gave you the peace sign.
Right? Like he's looking at you like you're a water creature?
That's strange. Hello, Ski. Welcome to the men's room.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hola. But he'd be fast.
So, me and my uncle were fixing his trailer, and it's like 100 degrees out during the day, so we were doing it at nighttime. And I'm wearing flip-flops, and I feel something on my foot. Thought it was dust at first, and I looked down, and there was a tarantula on my foot.
No, that is not all right.
How big was it?
Something like a baseball size, maybe.
Jesus.
Okay.
Is that legs included?
No, that's like the main body.
No,
All right,
Not
knowing about tarantulas. I know they can bite you.
They can bite. I don't think I don't think they actually pose a real danger. But here's the thing: it exists and it's on me. It is killing time. Yeah. What was your response? I mean, did you scream? Did you freak out? Or were you like, "Oh, cool"?
I screamed and ran.
Where was this, in Arizona?
We're in like the San Diego mountains.
Okay. And so what had you heard before about tarantulas? Has any of your friends ever been bitten or anything like that?
I've had friends that say they like rear up and they that's it really.
Yeah, but see, to me that speaks to the insidious monstrosity that is a spider. Because in theory, right, just take the size difference. So if a blue whale could walk and it walks up to me, in theory, I should be scared. And the last thing that I am going to do is rear up to this blue whale to challenge it to something, right? But spiders, it doesn't matter how small they are. When you look at them, they rear up like, bring it, mother effer. And that just tells me there's something, like the size difference means nothing to them, so they know something I don't know, and therefore they must die.
Well, most bugs aren't big enough to have hair. I mean, like... They're so big they have hair? I mean,
they're Turkish.
Okay, a caterpillar, I guess that's hair. But I can't really think of a lot.
But it changes into something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's temporary, man.
It's just huge and hairy, man. Can you think of any other hairy bugs?
Hairy bugs.
I'm serious. That's what I mean. The difference between a tarantula and everything else, it freaks me out, the fact it's got hair on it.
A lot of hair.
How did you have hair on it? Like, how did you get the hair?
Yeah, see, I like them.
You like tarantulas?
Really?
They don't
got a
bother you?
solidarity thing covered in hair.
We had a friend.
By the way, Nick sent us a message. He says, cinnamon oil drops around your house. Keep those spiders out.
That's better than fire. Thank you, Nick. Good looking out.
What freaked you the hell out? 206-421-ROCK.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more, and Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's easy. Simply go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
Start summer up by mixing things up with top paint and stain brands at Lowe's. Shop HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams, Valspar, Cabot to find the perfect pop of color or classic shade you've been looking for. And don't forget to prep your deck for the season with reliable wood stain and sealer. Now's the perfect time to complete your paint or stain project. Lowe's. All things summer, all at the right price.